Does Sony still love indie developers? That's today's topic. Let's see what Jim Ryan had to say about it. What up, everybody? It's your boy Nautical back at it with another video. So Jim Ryan is back in the news. One of the headmen at Sony when it comes to the marketing, and he was talking about what indies mean to the PlayStation platform. And I'm not going to really get into a long discussion about the actual relevancy of indies at this time, but this is just more just focusing on his comments and his comments alone. So let's see exactly what he had to say. And he was basically in an interview with Game On Daily, and he was actually talking to them about this instance. They asked him basically a rough question about what happened to the indie support that PlayStation's shown in the past conferences. Pretty much this year at conference, that was something they didn't even show, as my kids yell in the background, as you can hear them. But this is what he was quoted saying. There was a time and place in the earlier stages of the life of the PS4 to make statements. It was more about making a statement that we are serious about the indies and that we are doing this and that with the indies. It was just good to talk about in 2013, 2014. It's less relevant now. We have VR for an example. So now less relevant is probably the biggest keyword in there, because they're basically just saying, they're basically making it come off to seem like they don't care about it, like it's not as important to them, which it may not be. It also sounds like they were using indie developers in 2013, 2014, which I definitely believe is the case, because you didn't have your own support for your own system when it came to first party games in the first couple of years. We all know Sony's churning out those first party games now, but in the beginning it wasn't as many as they're doing now. So yes, they were definitely living on the backs of indies when it came to a lot of those games, and that's how they're lined up when they had a diverse lineup. That's why a lot of people actually praised Microsoft's conference a lot this year too, because they did show a lot of indie love this year compared to what they normally do, but they just didn't have the big blockbuster first party games like Sony has. So when I listen to those comments, I basically hear a person talking about, it sucks that we don't have time to have these developers and talk about these games on our stage. First of all, Sony's conference was only an hour long when it used to be an hour and a half. So I think the time that they would have put into indies got cut because they really didn't have anything else to fill that void for like another 20 minutes. Because if they spent 10 minutes on indies, what are they going to spend the other 20 on? So I think it's really just poor choice of words. I don't think it was any malice or anything towards it. I think Jim Ryan does understand the importance of indies, but I just think with PlayStation VR being in its first full year, and they still got to turn out games for that, so people will be wanting to buy the headset, with Worldwide Studios, Sony's first party studios, actually putting out all their major games over the last 16 months and stuff still to come. They're concentrating on that. And then they have a lot of third party relationships. Like, they have more third party relationships than I've ever seen from a platform holder. And it's just crazy how much they have. They have like all the big games, and all those big games want to have their games on stage. So Sony has to oblige by that. That might be a lot to do with the fact that, hey, if we're going to give you exclusive rights to certain things in our game, we want to be on your big stage to showcase our game, because some of these developers don't have the far-reaching reach that Sony has. So, yes, I think it was a really, really bad choice of words, and I really don't know how you would spin it. I mean, how would you tell the world, or in an interview, or somebody asks you why you didn't focus on something, how would you tell them in the correct or the appropriate terms to actually get them to understand that, yes, indies are important to us, they're just not important now? Because no matter where you say it, it's going to sound condescending and like you're looking down at the little man, which I don't honestly believe is the case. I did rip Sony and Jim Ryan for the things that they said about cross-platform play, because I felt like that was just asinine. That was just reaching to reach for anything that they could grab onto to defend their point when it came to cross-platform play. In this regard, I think that it's basically just a bad choice of words. And if he had it to say over again, I think he probably would just I don't know what he would say. That's just a rough place to be in at that point. So, guys, what do you think about this? Do you think that Sony is in the wrong for not showing a lot of third-party indies? Do you think that they basically just stepped on indies to get to the platform they are now? Do you think they used the indies to get basically as a bridge to get to their first-party and third-party content that they're pushing out now? Leave a comment down below and talk about it. Also, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification button so you know the next time my stuff is live. And I will see you guys in the next video, and have a good week. Peace.